Okay, the guy he's talking to is retarded. All right, next we got Destiny.
My name is Stephen Bonnell. Online, I'm known as Destiny. I debate politics on
I'm a
YouTube at
stripper?
youtube.com/Destiny. Today, I am surrounded by 20 Trump supporters.
Dude, how insane is it? This is about to be crude. Sorry. Grandmas, turn it off for a second, okay? How insane is it that that guy's... This guy, Destiny, his fetish is to suck cum out of bitches' pussies. That's literally his...
My first claim is that Donald Trump is unfit to be the US president.
Is it? Yes, dude. Lavaloon leaked texts where he was telling her that. I swear. Hold on, let me check. Let me get my Lavaloon.
Yeah,
It's in my
pleasure to meet you.
bookmarks.
All right, so you say that President Trump is unfit to take the
wait,
presidency.
if
Why
you
is
sent
that?
$5
I would
full
say that one of the
screen,
most-
full volume, please.
What is this? The little girl? Thank you, Y50. Big shout out. Let me find the Destiny thing. What's Lavaloon's at? Is it at Lavaloon? Bro, is she pirated right now? No. What's her at? At Femoid, that's what it is. With a PH. Dude, how is this so hard to find? Why is Nico spamming my phone? I get it, bro. You went live. I understand. Let's see, where are the... Oh, right here, right here, right here. Hold on, I got it. Thank you for this. Hold on, I'll show it after this is done. I want candy, but it's going to be so overpriced and I can buy it at a huge discount this weekend. That's true. That is true. Candy hack, try Dollar Tree. Just a thought. You know, it depends what kind of candy you like. Oh, Sneeko, he fell. Billions must know. Hey, homeless kind of shoplift punch for you. Yeah, here's a little hack. Tell a homeless guy if he goes in and grabs you all the candy he sees that you'll pay him $20. Thank you for that big shout out. Okay. You're welcome. Here's the Destiny leaks, okay? They're right here. So he's the gray. She's texting SKB, but this is him, okay? She said, thought it was on Snapchat and lost to time. It wasn't. I don't lie. She says, you're welcome. You said you were bisexual, but no catching or throwing, I guess. Like as in no having sex with guys. You just like the idea of men? I'm doing a biphobia to you. And then Destiny says, it's kind of weird. Men are gross, to be honest, LOL. So I guess one kink I can say is that I have a huge cum fetish. I love someone making out with me and after filling their mouth or eating it off or out of someone. And it's big enough that it's really hot for me to suck it out of a guy too. So I love giving head to guys. Just no desire to do much else with them. Interesting. That's one of mine too, says Lavloon. Ooh, well, I feel powerful taking come from them. Oh, well, I guess that's one way to view it. I think a lot of people can have different power views related to sex, though, for sure, yeah. What's another king you have? I guess the cum-eating one is the most extreme. I said I'm pretty vanilla. I don't know why I like feet, too. Rubbing them or nibbling on them while I'm fucking someone is super, super odd to me.
Most important values that we have as Americans is our form of government.
Come
and
on!
things like respecting the peaceful transfer of power. I think that being able to concede when you've lost an election is really important.
That's Destiny's
so I would
fetish,
argue that
yes.
the events that took place
He
leading
has a
up
huge,
to and
huge
on
cum
January
fetish.
6th are in and of themselves, among a whole bunch of other actions,
He's
immediately
retarded. Why would he
disqualifying
type
for the
this?
office of presidency.
I don't
Okay.
know.
So, Steve, let's talk about January 6th. What happened that day in your mind, and why does that disqualify?
Now for his take on tariffs. Now let's see what that guy has got to say about what the U.S. tariff policy should be.
Presidency.
Okay. So, Steve, let's talk about January 6th. What happened that day in your mind, and why does that disqualify President Trump?
I think that Donald Trump was unwilling to accept the results of the elections. I think that he fabricated slates of electors in
He looks like he doesn't have teeth when he talks.
order to have his vice president
Bro just
pick
loves
him to
cum
be
and
the winner
democracy.
in
It's
the
true.
Capitol building on January 6th, even though he didn't have the votes or the evidence to support it.
Okay, how, dude, Nathan Bonnell is just so unlucky. Imagine like reading that your dad said that once. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you're online or like someone's trying to shit on you and they're just like, yeah, well, your dad has a huge, huge cum fetish, and then like post that screenshot. That's just evil.
I need $3 just torture my cock. I don't need all that. What the fuck?
What? Anonymous, what? Just torture my cock. I don't need all that. What the fuck? Okay, thank you, Anonymous. Big shout out.
I think it is a wholly undemocratic thing.
Oh, yeah, well, your dad sucked.
I think that it is destructive and undermines our democratic process of.
Oh, yeah, well, your dad sucked the cum out of Brittany from Politically Provoked's pussy in a gas station bathroom. Like, what do you even say to that? What the fuck? How do you come back from that? How do you...
Governance.
Do you attribute the violence on January 6th to Trump?
Largely, yes.
Okay, why?
I think that Donald Trump had been stoking the flames a year before
High
the election,
fives,
saying that
Dad.
the election was going to be rigged. I think that Donald Trump stoked all of these claims basically with no evidence.
I mean, people have OnlyFans moms could be worse. No, having a whore mom would be infinitely better than having gay dad. In my opinion, whore mom, definitely greater than dad who's sucked dick. You know what I mean? 100%. Like, honestly, whore mom or gay dad?
Then I think that he continued to stoke the flames while fabricating them, that the election had been stolen, that there was voter fraud, and then he invited people on the day of the certification, telling them that their election had been stolen, their country was being taken from them, they needed to fight like hell, that they were going to lose everything. He knew what he was inviting them there for. He knew what he was asking them to do. He knew, yeah.
He also told them to go down to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically, right? What time did
did.
protesters first go into the Capitol? What time did they first enter the Capitol?
I think it was
How many people will know random Lavloon post over your mom having OnlyFans? Yeah, but you have to, it's not even, who cares? I mean, first of all, Destiny is infinitely more popular than Lavloon is. But, and well, maybe not popular, well known, you know, infamous than Lavloon. But even if it wasn't like that specific case, you know that he sucked dick. Like, that's the issue. You know, it's not even, oh, I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, what do you say as a comeback from that? Like, that's, you know, that's rough. But, like, imagine you just know your dad sucked dick. Like, what?
around 10 a.m., I think, is when the Capitol grounds were breached.
No, 2:11 p.m.
No.
If I was
That's
Nathan,
not
I'd bang
true.
my mom, Mel.
2:11
Yeah.
p.m. is when protesters first
that's
entered
true.
the United States
baby.
Capitol.
There's the grounds that were secured
As-
outside, though.
Okay.
Those grounds were breached while Trump was still giving his
Retribution.
speech at the Ellipse.
Okay, let's talk about the entrance of the Capitol, because that would be more severe in your mind than simply walking onto the property, right? Can you concede that point?
Probably not. I think they were all really bad, but yeah.
Okay, well, entering the Capitol, let's just mark that point. 2:11, what should Trump have done at that point?
As soon as the Capitol grounds themselves were breached, he probably should have put out a statement on social media telling people that they needed to go home instead of
He
telling
should
them
have said,
that Pence had
"Bad."
failed them and basically encouraging the violence to continue.
So what if I told you at 2:38 p.m. President Trump tweeted, "Stay peaceful"? He tweeted that to his supporters, "Stay peaceful."
He tweeted that-
27 minutes later.
He tweeted that after Ashley Babbitt, I believe, had already been shot and killed.
Okay, so
what does it mean when you tell your people to stay peaceful? They're not being peaceful. That doesn't make any sense,
p.m.
right?
2:38 p.m. 27 minutes after the Capitol had been protesters had entered. He said, "Stay peaceful." Okay.
That's true. Ashley Babbitt was trying to kill that guy.
At 3:13, he said,
She was killed in mutual combat.
"Law and order." At 4:17, he posted a video saying, "Go home now." So what on earth was he supposed to have done? I'm not happy about some of the violence that we saw on January 6th, but let's put it in context.
Well,
Steve.
wait. You just said it. You just said what he should have done. The tweet that he did at 4:17.
No, that was a video. That was the third call.
It was no.
for
It
folks
was the first time that he told them to go home.
Stay peaceful. 27 minutes after the Capitol protest had entered the Capitol.
After Ashley Babbitt had already been shot and killed, they weren't being peaceful. Why are we saying stay peaceful? At this point,
It's
Pence
true.
had already
Ashley
been-
Babbitt had already been
Doesn't
trying to
matter.
kill them.
Hold on. Do you acknowledge that people?
Dude, it's so gross how he looks like he doesn't have teeth when he talks. Like, that's actually disgusting. It's freaking me out. I don't know if it's this camera angle or what, but something keeps happening, and his lip keeps covering his teeth up, and it's freaking me out.
People broke into the Capitol,
Bro's
What do you
giving
mean by
gummy
breaking into the Capitol?
blowjobs.
as in smashed. They entered it illegally. They broke down
100,000
barricades.
people
What-
were there that day. How many were charged with crimes? 100,000 people there. How many charged with crimes?
It's gross.
Do you acknowledge that people
How
broke
many
into
were
the
charged with
Capitol?
crimes then?
How many people in the BLM riots were charged with crimes? This is a red herring.
No, it's
How
not.
many people? Who?
You said they're violent.
Did
How many
they-
were there that day? 100,000. How many were charged with crimes? It's the largest FBI investigation in history. 1,553
It's not relevant at all.
have been
It's
charged
not
with crimes.
relevant.
How
It's
can you
not
say they were all violent?
It's not relevant.
How can you say they were all violent?
Cook
First
'em!
people that got into the Capitol, did they
Is
break
January
in?
6th your only
Did they
reason
break
why he's
in?
unfit?
Wait. Did the first people into the Capitol break in?
Is January 6th the only reason he's unfit?
Are you unwilling to answer that question?
Is
Cook
January
his
6th the only
stupid
reason?
ass.
Unwilling to answer. You can say yes, you don't want to answer it, and then move on because you know the implications are terrible for you. That's fine if you
All
want.
reality
that
of the
dick
situation is-
The reality of the
screwed
situation
his
is
job.
What is the number one voter
They
for
delayed.
voters? What is
They
the number?
delayed the
What is the
certification
number
of the
one
vote.
issue for
They
voters?
delayed
Demons
the
do
certification.
exist. I mean, Ashley Babbitt. It's so, dude, imagine like having, first of all, I'm not even like one of these that like really cares about Ashley Babbitt. That's so LARPy. Like, what am I gonna go fucking bang a drum? Upset about that? Write a ballad or something. But imagine also like hating her. Like, imagine being like pissed off and like really convinced like she deserved to be shot in the fucking head. Like,
Of the
number
vote.
one
Did they
issue for
not?
voters.
It doesn't.
The vote was certified. Was it not certified?
Was there a delay in the certification?
Was there not- was
there
it
a
not
delay in the
certified?
certification? It
It's
was
absolutely
because the
certified.
National
Where
Guard
are your
showed up and they
teeth? Oh,
kicked
there
the
they
people
are.
out after Donald Trump was forced to tell them they were going home after watching
What
them
is-
break in for 3 hours
what
and
is
do
the- hold on.
nothing. By your own
Let's
admission,
just have a
they
conver-
said.
let's have a productive
No, we're
conversation,
not having a
Steve.
productive one because you're not answering any of my questions.
Keep going. Okay.
Yeah, I asked you a very simple question. The first person that got into the Capitol who wasn't allowed in, how did he get in?
They walked
Big
into the
Alaska
Capitol.
No,
pounded
they
down the
broke in with
door.
a riot shield that he's stolen from an officer.
Okay, and that makes President Trump unfit for office.
Do you acknowledge that that happened? Are we living in the same reality right now? Do you acknowledge that
there
that
was
happened?
violence on January 6th. I acknowledge that. There was
You
100,000
see how I'm making a
protesters.
specific claim?
1,500.
Do you know what 1 + 1 is?
I do.
What is 1 + 1?
I think it's 2.
Okay, good. Okay,
I think.
We can answer a
But
question.
math
Okay,
is
let's get
racist. Math is racist,
The first
Steven.
person that got into the Capitol building, how did they get in?
You were arguing that Trump is unfit.
yeah, I like
You know
that
what 2
line.
+ 2 is?
I
4.
Dude. Sometimes you remember like the kind of shit you could say and just like literally make a crowd of boomers start clapping. Like you say something like I think 1 + 1 is 2, but I'm not sure because now math is racist. Or like what else? I mean, there's like a million things you could just fucking like a million basic ass. I mean, you could just start yelling like there are only 2 genders at him or something, and you would literally make like a crowd of boomers start laughing and clapping. You know what I mean?
Who was the first person into the Capitol building? How did he get in? Why not just say he broke in?
Is your entire argument about January 6th yes or no?
Well, my biggest argument right now is that conservatives are delusional and they don't exist in the same reality that we
Why
do.
must
So
you
any other
attack? Why must you attack
Pause.
75 million
This
voters?
guy gets it.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return
If you
to your
lose the
seat.
debate, Destiny gets your cum. No.
Hi, how's it going?
How are you, Destiny?
Pretty good.
See you again.
Yep.
Ooh,
So, you don't
gay
think Donald
Republican.
Trump is fit for office based on January 6th.
Among
However,
other things, yeah.
we have to admit that
What do you think sucks a better? Just kidding. Just kidding.
January 6th
kidding.
was compromised. There were patriots.
Wait,
and there
that's
was
handsome truth.
Antifa. There were people.
Nah, they got
yes, there
handsome
were
truth
actually-
debating.
I have video of it.
Other things, yeah.
However,
Sorry, I gotta tweet that. Yo, Destiny debated handsome truth. There we go. Yeah, there we are. Ahem. It literally might as well be. Come on, bro.
we have to admit that January
No
6th
way,
was
Radio
compromised. There were
1488.
patriots and there was Antifa. There were people
No.
who were. Yes, there were actually.
were not.
I have video of it.
DDG
Don't argue with,
versus
don't argue with me because I actually have
1488
video of
radio.
people who were on the ground. I have video of people in Black Bloc getting dressed up in MAGA gear.
Much.
And according to-
1420. First
according
of all,
to-
you don't have the video, but let's see how long
I
it
do
takes.
have the video,
Who
and
was the
according-
first person to break into the Capitol? Was it Antifa?
It was an Antifa person. Yes, it was.
You're
And
wrong.
it's actually, if you read Andy No's book about Antifa
don't need to
Unmasked,
read Andy
it
No's
actually
book.
talks about how they use the premise of a broken window to then allow other people to come in because people are a mass. They're a group. They're like a herd of cows. And when there's a broken window, they don't see anything wrong with walking
Dude, he's gonna win this because they're all fucking delusional. They think Antifa broke into the fucking Capitol. I mean, that's... You are just an insane person. Like, no, Donald Trump gave like a war speech, walked him to the fucking Capitol, and then they pounded it down, and then he backed off. Like,
into a building if the window's already broken. They
I
use
thought
this-
conservatives were the
they
party of
use-
law and order.
but they
If you were
use this-
outside somebody's house and you saw somebody breaking,
This
you think you could walk
example,
in
this
afterward?
example is even continued through BLM and the riots
We're not
of
talking about
2020.
BLM
But
right
the-
now,
the
although I'm glad it
pattern
took
is
us
the same.
40 seconds. It's
The
not the
pattern
same
in
pattern.
2020 is the same that happened
That's
in January
crazy.
6th.
He has
We had
video,
innocent
Jimbo.
people moving into a facility
When a
that
gay
they
man
didn't know
talks,
that
I
it was
listen.
wrong because the doors were
I sit
already
my
open.
gay ass down
So you're already
on some
we're-
cock.
There was
we also
broken
have the
glass
other
on the
gentleman-
floor.
We also have the other
There was
gentleman
doors that were being broken into.
Yes, by people
Everybody
who were
knew when
dressed
they
up
were going
as
in there.
MAGA were not MAGA.
Oh,
you
okay.
have
So
that-
were all of the indictments and the convictions for people like Enrique Tarrio, for Stuart Rhodes, all
So-
these people that have been
so
directly
then
involved,
which
all the
one
video
these
footage
people-
of
which
breaking...
one of these people was his commander? Name one of the commanders of the insurrection.
Enrique Tarrio was the CEO of the Proud Boys. Stuart Rhodes was the CEO.
Is he a commander?
of the-
Is he a commander in the
I don't know what
insurrection?
their official military
name the
roles
lieutenant in
were.
the insurrection.
Why do I have to
Any-
name the
An insurrection is going to have people like commanders, generals, captains, people.
No, it doesn't
yes,
need
it
to
does.
at all. But the Proud
Absolutely
Boys
it
had a
does.
leadership
Yes, it
structure. If
does.
you'd like, you
Because
can go
there
and read the
is- because
indictments. You
there
can find the
was-
It's based Papa fascist.
There was no leadership structure. It can't be an insurrection if there is no leadership structure. You can't even.
I'm just butchering. I always call this guy Hard Truth. This isn't even. That's not even him. I mean, we're just saying that because he's a gay Mexican. It kind of looks like him. But
name one of Donald
dude, I can't remember what these people's
commanders
names
in
are.
this.
I don't
And then
need.
this
They're
gentleman-
all
this
listed. in the
gentleman-
Is that
indictment.
it?
Gave
Based
you the
Papa
CEO
fascist?
of the Proud
Donald
Boys.
Trump-
They're the ones that
Donald
broke in.
Trump made
It's
4
something
tweets,
Papa fascist.
And those 4 tweets didn't even make it out of his sphere because they were immediately suppressed by the media.
They weren't
That is-
suppressed
yes,
at all.
They were
He
deleted.
sat-
they
they
were
were- no, they
deleted.
weren't. You're
They were
lying. You
deleted
can
by
go and see
Twitter.
those tweets
He
still.
brought them out on stage on his town hall and said, "Look, here are the tweets that you deleted." How do you explain that other
How
than
do you
a
explain
fascist
Donald Trump?
system
I can explain.
who doesn't
I can,
want
I
Donald
can
Trump?
explain. Yeah, the calls for peace came 3 hours.
No, they
while he
didn't.
wait. So do
He
you
just
wait?
told you
Do
that
you
it came
acknowledge?
22
Do you
minutes.
acknowledge that Donald Trump sat in his room for 3 hours before he told people to go home, watching the
Donald
violence
Trump
unfold?
gave a
You won't
speech.
answer
Yeah,
the
what the
question.
fuck
Donald
was
Trump
up with
gave a
that?
speech.
I don't
You
care.
don't care about the
I
facts.
don't.
then.
No. I'm the one. I'm asking a very simple
Big
question. You can't
Papa
answer. I can
fascist.
answer
Yeah,
your
that's
question
right.
if you answer my question. Do you acknowledge that he sat for 3 hours?
No, he didn't sit for
watching-
3 hours because he gave a speech during those 3 hours.
No, at the very
Yes, he
end,
did.
he went after the ellipse speech was done. He went back to the White House, and then he sat in a room with a Diet Coke, and he watched the violence unfold.
How do you know this?
Because it's accounted
Were you
for
there?
by like testimony.
Were you there?
How do you know what's happening at the border? What's happening in China? Are you there? What do you mean?
Actually, this gentleman is actually.
Hold on. Are you? I'm sorry. Is your claim that the only way that you can know something is if you
Actually, we
personally-
have an
making these
insurrectionist
claims that he
right
sat there
here.
and
I'm making this
nothing.
claim based
What
on
I'm telling you
hundreds
is
of
that he
hours
tweeted
of
over and
deposition
over again,
testimony
tell his
by people
supporters
that have
to
been in
go
front
home
of a
patriotically
number of
and
courts, in
peacefully.
front of the J6 committee, in front of the media, in front of the.
Okay,
there are so
pause.
many different people that are willing to testify to all of this.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Thank you.
Please return to your seats.
All right, who's up next? Come on.
Hey, what's up?
Another gay Republican?
So, I think that we've been talking about January 6th.
Oh, fuck, we got a chud.
I'll be the first to say that, and I think a lot of people here would agree that there were bad actors that day. I'm someone.
Is that the Apu guy? I'm serious. Is that the guy who can't play Minecraft? What's his fucking name? Vince Dow. They got Vince Dow there?
Someone who comes from a family of law enforcement, family of military, so I believe
got-
in law and
Yo,
order.
they got
and so
Vince
I do believe that
Dow?
there were people on that day who took things way too far, and I think most Republicans understand that. From people that I had talked to on the ground, I think that the media blew
Who
it
is
up
this
into
crazy
something bigger
bitch?
than it
You know, dude, Destiny is the easiest, like, he just has the easiest time ever. It's like, you get 25 MAGA, people who are going to come argue, like the influencers that are actually available that won't get Jubilee banned are all just straight up like brain dead freaks that are selling you like vitamins or something, okay? Like, because I mean, they're not gonna bring Nick up or something. You know what I mean?
was. Again,
It's
I'm
just gonna be 25 retarded people.
not saying that people who broke into the Capitol shouldn't have, but I do believe that there's a lot of people who are misled. There's evidence that's coming
Zion
out
Don,
with,
strongest
all
soldiers.
the tapes that are coming out from January 6th showing police officers were actually escorting people through the hallways. So to say that every single person who entered that building is, a criminal, I think a lot of people.
Just to be clear, that's never been my claim. That every single person entered was the building is such a boring and uninteresting that I would never waste my time making it.
Okay.
The reality was I do agree with you on your fundamental. There were a lot of people that were misled. I do agree with that. And I think that Donald Trump was behind that misleading the entire time. The people were there because he was tweeting out at them
They're
saying,
all
come here for a
brown.
historic protest. It was obvious what the protest was going to be. They were protesting the certification of the vote.
They would never
and
let
what
Dalton
happened-
Claude on this
never
show.
told
Right.
anyone to break into the Capitol.
true.
President Trump has always run on a campaign of law and order.
No, he
and to
hasn't.
This is the
respect
perfect
his
setting for
beliefs.
Destiny.
Where
He can
has
gish
where's
gal.
your evidence
Yeah,
of
that's
that?
true.
The whole plot on January 6th was to break the law.
Change the
have Mike
subject.
Pence choose him to be the president.
At what point did President Trump tell people to break into the Capitol?
No.
and to
When
do
he
what
wanted
happened?
Pence to choose him to be the president.
No. But let's talk.
Dude, if these people want to win, they should literally just do like things that'll hype boomers up. You know what I mean? Like just randomly start saying, "Yeah, well, you think there are infinite genders, you fucking libtard."
About breaking
Oh, you think that it was an insurrection on January 6th? Yeah. Well, guess what else you think? That a man can be a woman.
breaking the law.
That's breaking the law. The law was the Electoral
But
Count
what
Act.
you're
You wanted him to
saying-
break that law.
What you're saying is that you had that he was inciting an insurrection.
Was saying that as well, yeah.
He was inciting an insurrection.
That's
and telling
obsessed with
people
J6. That's all he
to
talks about. Yeah, that's true.
People they
basically
needed
break
to
in.
fight like
That's not
hell,
even
or
a
they were gonna lose
Republican.
their
Come
country.
on.
Okay,
That's
then
not.
well, how does that have anything to do with breaking into the Capitol? Yes,
I think
again,
it was just.
there
So
are
then here,
bad
let me
actors.
just
Who
like,
is
so just
that?
to be clear. So he told people to go to J6 because it
Inciting
would
an
be a
erection.
historic something, a historic event. When they all got there and they showed up at his speech at the Ellipse for an hour,
Yeah, hit him with a "What is a woman? Define a woman, Mr. Bennell."
he riles them up, telling them they're going to lose their country, that they're trying to
Define
steal
a
it from
woman.
you, that you need to fight like hell.
Oh, wait.
Giuliani was just on there before saying trial by combat. He said all these things, and then all these
Walks up to the table. Okay, first things first. I identify as an attack helicopter.
people, he said, we're going to march down, march to the Capitol.
Is there anything wrong with protesting outside
I'm
of the
just
Capitol?
asking, like, was the fact that there was a break into the Capitol and for the first time in U.S. history, the vote certification was delayed? Was that just a coincidence?
Well,
Is that,
why
okay,
does
so-
Kid
so-
keep
so-
eating my
okay,
chats?
so-
I don't
so-
know.
no, before you ask
Sometimes
this
it
random
breaks.
question,
Right.
was it just a coincidence that a break-in happened and the vote was delayed? Was that a
Look,
coincidence?
because people broke into the Capitol, that can't be blamed on President Trump. He is
So it was a coincidence.
President Trump
Can
has
you say that? Can you-
President,
I see you here, you said-
President
it was a
Trump has
coincidence.
always ran on
It was
law
a
and order
coincidence
and for
then.
people. And
So it
yes,
was a
there were
coincidence.
there were bad
It was
act there
a
were bad
coincidence then. It was
actors.
a coincidence.
But move it. Let's move to the
This is
certification.
insane.
No.
You understand this is
Let's
crazy,
move to
right?
the
You're not
certification.
nothing about you
okay,
with law and
in
order.
2016.
You said your family is
in
black.
two-
Whoa,
no,
what
crazy,
was that
right?
hat?
Not you.
The fuck is that hat? Oh no, that's nothing. I thought we had like an identify your Yevropa
Nothing
on there or
about
something.
law and
In
order.
2016,
You said your family is
in
law
2000,
enforcement? This is
in
coincidental?
2016, I've already said that there were bad actors. In 2016,
No, Charlie, it's not a sign,
Democrats
dude.
questioned the election
No.
of President Trump. Yes,
No.
they
Dude.
did.
My claim has never been
Jackson,
about, my claim,
Sheila
when did Hillary Clinton
Jackson,
concede? He's not going to answer
Sheila,
this question
no,
either.
Sheila
He
Jackson,
won't answer it. I'm going to ask it
Sheila
again. when you're
Jackson,
done.
Sheila Jackson, and two other Democrats had spoke and said that they were going to question
Mr.
and
Benelli, define define vagina. Define what sucking means.
Hopefully delay the certification in 2016 when President Trump was elected. And
When did Hillary
and we
Clinton
look-
concede?
And look,
The
and
answer
through
is
all
that
this
night,
time,
right?
and
The answer is that night.
through
Was the
all of this
certification
time-
of the vote delayed?
Okay, so
the answer is no, it
there
wasn't.
are questions.
Was there a
Maggots
riot?
are
Okay,
seriously
I'm from
mentally
Arizona,
ill.
right? So none of
I
what
am
you're
from
saying is relevant
Arizona.
here.
Maggots literally live in a fucking alternate universe, dude. How are they even supposed to have a discussion? Okay? Maggots can't even accept reality.
I'm way behind you, so I just see the back of your head.
Okay,
I'm
hi.
Sartre, nice to
What's
meet you. I just have questions. I like to ask people
We are
questions.
cooked.
I'm interested in hearing how people think. So when you're talking about the insurrection on January 6th, what would you describe during when Kavanaugh was elected to Supreme Court and you had all the protesters at the Capitol, they were banging on the Capitol
protesters.
doors, they were screaming, they were yelling. How do you feel about that?
I would have to know the specifics of the event. I don't recall like any like.
He's like, I actually don't have any recollection of anything other than what I've read in the last year and a half. I don't know where I was. I've been a political YouTuber or political streamer for 10, 12 years. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. I haven't read about that event.
Proceedings being delayed. I don't recall there being a top-down call from the president to lead
You don't
these
remember that
particular-
they had to stop the congressional meetings because people were banging on the door and being so loud and trying to
Someone
break
He's
can
like,
it?
stop the
no,
first
I
part.
literally
If
was
they
not
didn't
paying
expect-
attention.
Yeah,
wait, just
I
to be clear,
agree.
just to be clear, this is the difference between me and you, okay? Is that if everything you're telling me is true,
Oh, I'm a female.
wait.
I'm a female.
You're
so
a
that's
Make America
obviously-
Great Again hat, so I
I'm a
don't
female.
care.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
put it on. I had a cowgirl
That's the
hat
difference
on
that I'm
before.
talking about. I don't
So
care
I'm
that
a
you're a woman
female.
or
I'm a
not.
female and you're a male, and it's almost like you're attacking me because I'm a female.
I'm
Are
not
you
attacking you at
anti-female?
Ooh, okay, all right. She's got a trick up her sleeve. Let's go.
Are you anti-female?
Yeah,
Every time I am, okay? What I'm saying,
Are you
what I'm saying-
sexist?
What I'm saying, I'm very
At
honest.
least
But
you're
what I'm saying, yes,
honest.
I am
Fucking
honest. But
liberal.
I'm saying that if
Sweetie,
this happened,
can I ask you another question?
I didn't even answer your
Eat
first
him up,
question.
sis.
No, you said that you didn't know the specifics. That
Yes,
isn't
but
the answer.
what
So
I'll
I'm not
tell
going
you
to
is
force.
that
I'm not going to force you
you're
into
not
a yes or
forcing
no.
me. I promise you can't force you to do anything.
Okay, I'm not.
If
I
it
assume that goes
if
the
it
same
happened
way.
as
I
you
have
said, I
another
would say
question.
that's
I have
bad.
another-
And you
Calm
know what?
Minister,
I would
calm
get you
Minister.
arrested.
You're still
I would
yelling,
say
and I
that's not
agreed
good.
with you.
I'm not yelling.
I
I'm not even
agree.
close to yelling yet. I can if you want me
Well,
to.
I'm glad you are projecting your voice because I couldn't hear you before.
Okay.
So I can definitely hear you now.
You could do the maybe hair behind your ears. Go ahead.
You want my hair behind my ears?
If it's inhibiting your ability to hear me speak, yes.
Well, actually, it's because
Destiny be like, who is Brett Kavanaugh?
you need the bottom of your. I'm
Oh.
in the medical field, so the bottom of your tongue needs to
Brett,
be clipped.
what?
So that's the reason why you have a lisp when you're talking.
Okay.
Anyway,
Jimbo, check it out. Tucker says he was attacked by a succubus. No way, a Halloween surprise. No way, that's real. Come on. Tucker says he was attacked by a
You think-
succubus.
The presence of evil is kickstarting people to wonder about the good.
That's what happened to me.
October
happen to you?
surprise.
Oh yeah, I had a direct experience with it.
In the milieu of journalism or just...
Nope, in my bed at night, and I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled. Physically mauled.
In a spiritual attack by a demon?
Yeah, by a demon. Or by something unseen that left
Is that right?
claw marks on my sides, on my...
So it left physical mark.
Oh, they're still
Ew.
there. Yeah. Year and a half ago.
Was your wife
Ew.
terrified? I know you were.
I wasn't. I was
They
totally
stole his
confused. I woke
cum.
up and I couldn't breathe, and I thought I was going to suffocate. And I walked around outside, and then I walked in, and my wife and dogs had not woken up, and they're very light sleepers. And then I had these terrible pains on my rib cage and on my shoulder, and I was just in my boxer shorts, and I went and flipped on the
They
light
were
in the
wet.
bathroom, and I had 4 claw marks on either side, underneath my arms, and on my left shoulder, and they're bleeding.
No way.
Wait, they were bleeding.
They're bleeding, yeah. No, they're actual claw marks. And I sleep on my side, so I wasn't clawing myself. I don't have long nails. And they didn't fit my hands anyway. But yeah, that
Bro's got
happened.
a pit bull on his bed.
So I'm not from a world where things like that happen. I never heard of anything like that happening before. I had no idea what that was. I knew it
Balls
was spiritual
drained. Bite
immediately.
mark on my
Okay, that was
penis.
going to be my question.
Yeah. I don't understand to this day. I'm not going to put it.
You
more
didn't. You didn't try to refute the spiritual part in your own mind. You went right into the.
Well, it didn't make any sense, and it doesn't now. But I'm not from a, what do they call it, faith tradition that talks about things like that or even acknowledges their existence. Like, there's nothing like that. I've never heard anybody say anything like that in my whole life.
What was the next day
Wait, what is he? Episcopalian? Is that what they're called?
like?
Well, the next morning I woke up and I thought that was the weirdest dream I've ever had. And then I saw blood on my sheets, and I
And
realized
cum
that was not a dream
everywhere.
at all. So I called my assistant, who was like the only evangelical Christian I know, you know, well enough to call with something bizarre like that, totally bizarre like that. And she said, oh yeah, no, that happens. Yeah, people are attacked in their bed by demons. What? What are you even talking about? Yeah. So I mean, I'm not leaving anything out, and
oh yeah, that'll
I'm not
happen.
Pretending to understand that. I can only say what happened to me, and that did happen to me. And
the ghost of
and then I was seized
ectoplasm
with
all
this
over my bed.
very intense desire to read the Bible, which I then started without any study aids or anything. I bought a Bible that didn't have any. I'm not interested in editorializing in the Bible. I just want to read it and see what's in there myself.
A study aid? What Bible has a study? What? Are you like 5? A Bible with a study
very low
aid?
levels of trust for Christian pastors, most of whom, you know, I'm just not a fan at all. And sorry to say that, but that's how I feel. And so I don't want to hear other people's opinions. I just want to see what's in there. And so I spent a year and a half reading it, and then I started rereading it. And it was just a transformative experience.
I was attacked by
for
demons.
Me, but I'm not holding myself out as someone from whom you could get
Yeah, I woke up and I was attacked by demons.
theological advice, because I'm
Sure,
not.
of course.
I mean, I don't know. I don't understand any of it.
I had claw marks all over my sides.
I have no idea what happened. All I know is I was dead asleep with my wife and dogs, and I woke up with claw marks on my rib cage underneath my arms, and it didn't even make sense. My arms would, anyway, whatever. No one has to believe me. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
But that happened to me, and so I just was like, wow, that's.
Anonymous sent $3. No, don't bite my nose.
Don't bite my coke. I woke up in the middle of the night and a demon had taken a chunk out of my penis.
It's real. Whatever.
Thank you for that, Anonymous. That's a good, I like that sound effect. Bite sound effect. That was fun.
Whatever that is, I'm even not sure what it is.
It's
but
very real. And so then that presence of that evil
yeah.
launches something.
Sorry, I'm just trying something. Okay.
If you want medical advice, I can do that, but it's better to be private on that.
If
So
I
I
need
have
another
another question. So we
Back to
agree
these two
that during the
fighting.
Kavanaugh trials, if people were trying to break into the
Let
Supreme
it play.
Court,
Sorry,
that's
Nirvana
bad. I agree with
autoplay.
Thomas. So, and the next thing is, I have a question for you, because you also brought up the border and immigration, right?
Ooh.
Well, I
What would
haven't,
you
but
say?
Go back
Yes,
20
it's
seconds.
actually- It's glad you are projecting your voice because I couldn't hear you before.
Okay.
So I can definitely hear you
He's
now.
about to start crying.
Maybe hair behind your ears. Go ahead.
You want my hair behind my ears?
If it's inhibiting your ability to hear me speak, yes.
Well, actually, it's because you need the bottom of your. I'm in the medical field, so the bottom of your tongue needs to be clipped. So that's the reason why you have a lisp when you're talking.
Okay,
Anyway, if
gotcha.
you want medical advice, I can do that, but it's better to be private on that.
If
So
I need
I have
another
another question. So we
She's a nurse, so she might be able to outsuck him. I'm not gonna lie. She might be able to outsuck him.
agree that during the Kavanaugh trials, if people were trying to break into the
Cook
Supreme
his
Court,
lisp,
that's
yes.
I agree with you on that, sweetie. So, and the next thing is, I have a question for you.
Misogynist
because you also
pig
brought up border and
owns.
immigration, right?
Well, I
what
haven't,
would you
but
say?
I'm see you want
Actually,
to, yeah.
you did. They can play it back. So anyway, what would you say if the Biden-Harris, we have the Biden-Harris administration right now, if our
Yo, the black bitch is not fucking with this white ass O.
border was filled with neo-Nazis with tiki torches, what would happen?
You'd probably sell a whole lot more lighter fluid. I don't know. What do you mean?
No, if
Okay,
our
pause,
border.
Pause. Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority.
Wait, what was her point? What did she just say?
Well, I
what
haven't,
would you
but
say?
I'm see you want
Actually,
to, yeah.
you did. If they can play it back. So anyway, what would you say if the Biden-Harris, we have the Biden-Harris administration right now, if our border was filled with neo-Nazis with tiki torches, what would happen?
You'd probably sell a whole lot more lighter fluid. I don't know. What do you mean?
No,
Like
if our
guarding it or
border-
attacking
Pause.
it?
Sorry, you've been voted.
Borderline, we basically are. Like, I mean, Mexicans pretty much make up, most of that anyway. So
Out by the majority.
you borderline without the torches, you kind of already have that. Mega turd who hates actual racist people. True. She was cooking him.
Hey, Ethan.
Micah,
She was
okay, I wanna talk
blowing
about
him
the
out of the
alternate
water.
slate of electors, and how historically that has
All right, we got
happened
Chud.
before
It
on the
hasn't.
Democrat side.
It
Yes, it
hasn't.
has. In 1960, JFK against Nixon
Bust his ass,
ran
Chud.
an alternate slate of electors.
He's not gonna understand that. He's not gonna have any idea about that because that's outside of what he's read about.
In case
Oh, he's looking scared. He's like, how do I change this topic? I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
was overturned in Hawaii. It was eventually overturned in Hawaii, and so then those electors were certified, and JFK won the state.
So I'm glad you bring this up real quick because this is one of the biggest pieces of shit talking points that you guys always bring up, and I don't know why. In 1960, two slates of electors were authorized by the state legislature. Both were granted the certificate of ascertainment from the governor because they knew that it was a very close election and they'd authorized a recount, and because that recount was going to go past the some mid-December date, it's December 14th for the 2020 election, but some mid-December date for when they had to certify their vote. So they said, okay, well, we'll send in both certificates, and then on the day of the counting, on January, whenever they would have done the certification in Congress, then they can choose which one was authorized by the state legislature based on the results of the recount. Donald Trump's certificates were not authorized by any state legislature.
Well,
do you acknowledge that?
well-
Wait, real quick. Do you acknowledge, real quick, that the 7 slates that were submitted by Donald Trump, none of those were authorized by
Oh
any
my
state
gosh,
legislature?
what are the other topics?
Can I answer?
You're not going to.
No, I am. No,
Boring
I am.
conversation.
No. They weren't certified, and why? It's because fraud wasn't found. It wasn't proven in court.
No, you're
So that's
lying.
fine.
You're lying. They
Wait,
weren't
so
authorized.
you're saying fraud was found?
No, you're lying because those legislatures.
Wait, what do you say my line about?
They're lying because none of those alternate slates were arranged by the state legislatures. They were arranged
Dude,
by.
why are the chuds hating this
lying
chud?
because none of
What's with these two chuds hating that chud?
those alternate slates were arranged by the state legislatures. They were arranged by Trump and his criminal.
Wasn't the 2020
co-conspirators.
election
None of
really
the state
close?
legislatures,
Yeah.
None of the state governors authorized those slates of electors.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
It's illegal.
I gotta pee so
number
bad.
one, and number two.
What law? What law says that?
You have laws that are governing how you're supposed to transmit.
No. What law? What law?
Do you want me to give you the specific statutes in Georgia, Arizona, New Jersey? I don't know them off the top of my head. If you want, you can.
Okay, so then that's a baseless claim.
It's not a baseless claim.
Yeah, it is.
Chesbro and Eastman
you can't
and
provide me a specific law.
Because I can't give you the state statute?
Yeah, if you can't give me a specific law, then why should I believe you? There's no justification for that. You have to provide evidence for that.
Hold on. On the contrary, are you claiming there's no formal process that's codified in the legislature for how to send transmit your electoral votes? Do they just do it randomly?
No, of course I'm saying, of course there's laws that are involved, but you can't point to the specific law that says that is.
I don't know the numbers.
And so your
of
claim is baseless.
It's always crazy to see that you guys will carry water. Even Trump's own people don't deny this because they know that they're dead to rights because the emails have leaked, the conversations have leaked, the Twitter posts are there that we can see from their accounts.
No.
Really, what did I just say that was wrong? What one thing that I just said that was incorrect?
You're
I can
getting
name three
upset because
things.
I'm pressing you on.
No, I'm not. You're not pressing me at all.
Yeah, you're getting upset.
Floundering.
Dude.
You're like a magic carp. You
See,
have no idea
when
what you're talking
when you
about.
have to resort to personal insults, that's when you know you're losing.
You
Alright,
already
that's
said that I
really
was
bad.
lying.
So
You can't name a single thing I'm incorrect about. I can name multiple things you've been incorrect about. You were incorrect
And then now
in
you're
comparing
not
it to
letting me get a word.
1960.
I think.
Oh,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
T-shirt
you're
under the
speaking for
Blazers,
yourself.
peep
You're making
chud
yourself
though,
look
true.
foolish.
And
go
shut on
ahead.
shed violence.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's 10 seconds.
Let's go. Give me your hardest claim.
Again, it was for the same reason. You can compare the election of 1960 to 2020. It's the exact same thing. They did that in case their cases
Okay, pause.
actually
Okay,
came to
please.
fraud and they
That's time.
found fraud in
What's the
the
next
That's
topic?
time. Micah, please return to your seat.
My next claim is that Harris would be a better president for immigration and the border.
Dude,
than
he's
Donald
so gay. My next claim. Dude. Dude, oh my gosh. Why did he say that so gay?
My next claim is that Harris would be a better president for immigration and the border than Donald Trump.
And then Handsome Truth has to take it one step further, huh?
Oh, hey, what's up?
Long time no see.
Yeah?
All right, so why would Kamala Harris be better than Trump on immigration?
Because I don't know if Trump even knows what's actually wrong with the border.
He does know what he's What do you mean by that?
I think that Republicans don't know what is happening right now with the problems with their immigration system. A lot of people think that the issue is with illegal immigration. It's not. The problem is that our asylum process is completely and totally broken right now. And the problem is the only way to rectify that is to change the laws governing, or at least some of the regulations governing the asylum process. And when there was a bill on the table to do so, Donald Trump blocked it to keep the border open for an election issue. But as it stands right now, you could have the biggest, strongest wall in the world with the best guns and all the people manning it. It would make zero difference on illegal immigration. They would still come up and claim asylum, and there's nothing you'd be able to do about it.
So do you think there's problems with illegal and illegal? That's what I'm hearing correctly?
Well, it's different
What's
classifications.
the argument?
Of immigrants, but, like,
I was looking at
asylum
Jughead
seekers aren't
Command on
technically
Twitter.
illegal immigrants,
Curly
even though
hair, so he
Republicans call
might
them
be
that.
an
When they're doing the
octoroon.
asylum-seeking process
Ooh.
and millions of people
When's this guy gonna get up and argue with him?
are here waiting to hear their case, technically
Press
that's
his
all legal,
ass.
which is an issue.
Okay, but why would Kamala Harris be better than Trump? You said she understands it better. I think everybody understands the issue, but I think the Democrats and Republicans, at least the establishment, they don't want to fix the issue.
Bro, the
So-
jaw swing,
So I
it's
don't think
crazy.
everyone understands the issue. So every single person sitting here
No,
doesn't
don't even
believe
do
me
it.
when I
Don't
just
even
said
do it
that
as a
the
joke.
laws on the books and the asylum process is the main issue. They think it's just people illegally crossing the border, right? The reason why I think that the Democrats would do something is because
Dude, he does it constantly.
People that shouldn't be
They are
here
Like
are here.
zigzag.
They're forcing them.
Yeah,
When
but there
you
are
say
people that are illegal here and they're not being sent back.
I mean, that's a whole other deportation.
So they're not
other
enforcing
thing.
the law then?
Well, who's they?
The government.
Which one? The state governments or the federal
All of
government?
them.
Well, the federal government doesn't have the resources to go in and try and find every single potential illegal immigrant in the United States. There's a whole bunch
Well,
of
we
issues.
just sent how many billions to Ukraine? Like, we have the money. We can hire people. There's a lot of people in this country.
What
that
does he
can
mean?
happen,
So the
but we're
majority of
choosing
like
not to.
80% of the aid.
Dude, these guys hate
I mean, we can
everyone that
hire
argues
people.
with
There's a lot of people in this
Destiny.
country, so it can happen.
But neither of them ever run for the chair.
So the
But we're
majority of
choosing
like
not to.
80% of the aid we send to Ukraine is in the form of like used weapons and stuff.
Right.
But secondly, it's just a matter of even if you say we have the money for it. I
Wait,
mean, we
that's
have to
Lil
appropriate the
Uzi?
funds for it and everything else to do it. Like it's
That's-
not a matter of
there's-
saying
that's
like, oh,
not
we're gonna triple the
Lil
size
Uzi.
of the DHS or
But-
ICE or whatever.
There's
But
no
now you're
way.
saying- so I
That's
understand
not
you wanna
Lil
be tough
Uzi,
on
come on.
immigration, right? And you think Kamala Harris is going to be tough on immigration, just generally speaking. Like, she's going to crack down
Bro
on it,
draws the
deport
Ni-
illegals,
Nike
send them
tick
back.
I don't know,
4
I don't
times
even-
a
I'm not
sentence. Yeah,
necessarily-
it
I'm not talking
does.
about being tough on or deporting.
No,
I'm
it's
just saying
not.
to fix the
Okay,
issue we have
okay.
right now, which is
But the
way too many
fix that
people
we
coming in and claiming asylum. It's
So
not
the
good.
fix, we got to stop people coming
Yeah.
in. So we need to
Well,
build.
no. The issue is we need to stop the asylum process, or we need to figure out a way to make that better.
Right, but there's multiple things that need to be fixed. It's a multifarious issue. And Kamala Harris originally says that
Okay,
ISIS
pause.
is the KKK.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
Ooh.
I'm Luke, by the way. Nice to meet you. So I just
Damn, look at that. Dude, look at that nose. Holy.
I'm Luke, by
What even is that? What?
the way.
Hold on, am I blocking? No, you can see it. What is? Oh.
Nice to meet you. So I just wanted to briefly talk about, you're talking about
Hi, I'm
the
Luke, by the way.
Senate
It was
bill
kind of
that
chill.
held the House.
That was
What
kinda-
is your argument with that? Because as far as my knowledge with this bill, it was $118 billion. That was the financial standing within this bill. Within that, $60 billion of that $118 billion was going to go towards Ukraine. Only 20, I have the chart with me, only $20 billion was going to go towards the border. $10 billion was going to go towards Gaza. $14 billion was going to go towards
Wait, that
Israel.
guy's name is
This
Cam
Senate bill
Higbee
was a bad bill.
in the back?
First off, and second off, it was
the
just
left?
a disguising bill to give more money towards
One
Ukraine.
there.
So
Right
you
there,
talk about
on the
bill,
left
that's
So
the
side.
this
only
is a real
thing
quick thing.
Democrats
So
really have.
so this is the argument that was floated initially, but the problem is they tried to reintroduce this bill on its own.
Who is
and
this?
it still failed.
But
because
the
Donald
bill
Trump-
itself was written poorly. Within the bill, they're going to cap what is the average weekly
Oh my.
immigration.
Yo, look at those things though. Holy. Whoa. Okay. Chat. Hear me out. Okay. Dude. Check that out though. Holy. Ooh-wee.
Is at 5,000. That's still way too many.
Break down
You know
that
what it's capped at right
wall.
now?
What is it capped at?
Nothing. That's why it was a good
But
idea.
that 5,000 is still way too much. Why don't
What
they
it-
cap
what
it
it
at?
allowed it to-
Why don't they
what it-
cap it at less?
What they allowed
And
it
you
to
talk
do,
about
real quick. So what they
asylum.
allowed it
Let's
to
send-
do, what
you
they
know-
allowed it to do is it allowed it to say if there were too many people coming in, they could put a 2-week moratorium and completely shut down people that were coming to the country to seek asylum.
But
that was one thing that the bill would have allowed it
Border
to do.
Patrol
That right
isn't
now
even
they
doing
don't
their
have
job.
the ability to do. They
And
are
these
doing
are
their
these
job.
are for
They
individuals.
are doing their job.
These are the individuals that are not or that are seeking asylum. Do you know how many individuals that seek asylum actually filed their paperwork for asylum?
Why, if you're
Who
coming here,
cares?
No, it's less
if
than
you're,
half.
if you're
They
coming
use
here
it-
to get a slip to go to
they're
court, then
using
they have to.
asylum as an excuse. The process which comes with people that come for asylum,
Mhm,
the
mhm.
easiest and most,
Do not come.
I guess,
Do
used
not come.
process, they come typically through
those
San Diego
gigabytes.
or Arizona. They put these individuals on a freight train, send that train to New York. They house them typically at the Roosevelt Hotel. Other hotels in New York are also being used. Then they give them an identification bracelet that has a number, basically like Nazi
So
Germany.
all of this is fine, but the reality-
Please let me
reality
finish
is- I don't care
talking.
about
I'm
it.
respect.
None of this-
It doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
I'm
Basically, like
respecting you.
Nazi
Zero
Germany.
have
Good
some
point.
respect. Okay,
They're letting in they're letting in migrants just like Nazi Germany. They're importing them into the city, paying for their housing, letting them go on the streets, basically like fucking Nazis. What the what?
let's talk about the asylum process.
Basically
okay,
like
right?
Nazis.
If Democrats wanted to,
because they're
allocate more
using
money to the
numbers
judges to process the claims faster, to allocate more money to border security to make sure people weren't coming in illegally, and then to be able to put a moratorium if too many people were coming in.
Exactly like Nazi Germany.
If only less than 50% of people that
Destiny
are
on that
actually
double
coming for
dose,
asylum are
tapping his
filing their
tapping
paperwork,
little feet.
none of that matters. We should be
How are you
starting
getting
off-
a slip to go to court for an asylum judge if you're not filing your paperwork?
What I'm saying is these people are using asylum as an excuse to get to America, to use our resources. Do you know how much money that we've spent? So there's two different types of immigrants. Two different types of illegal immigrants. There's gotaways and there's give-ups. Do you know what each one is?
Catch and release versus an
No. So give-ups are individuals that typically their families are typically asylum seekers that they intentionally want to get processed through border control. Gotaways are typically criminals, which there's 14,000 murderers right now that are within our country coming through the border. Gotaways alone, which are typically criminals, we are spending $450 billion
guess what?
a
They're all
year
brown,
just to support
Destiny.
these criminals
You piece
that are
of
coming
shit.
through the Gotaway process.
Okay, so all of this is great, but it returns me back to my other question. If people are doing this by abusing the asylum process, it feels like a bill would have helped, and Donald Trump has done nothing.
Because before we can have any type of bill that basically funnels down asylum versus gotaways versus give up versus criminals versus all that, you need to have a secure border.
Yeah, but let's say
that
right now,
was
let's
not
say
that
this
was
is
not going to
true.
help. That was
Let's
not
say
going
that
to
you
help
secure
in the
border-
securing of
sure.
the border.
Let's say that you secure the border 1 trillion, feet tall on the wall and everything.
Okay.
Everybody else comes up and they still do the exact same asylum claiming process.
What do you mean everybody comes up?
As in, you go to a port.
This is just so stupid. Like when they say, man, wouldn't a bill have been good? And the bill allows 5,000 a day to like just be allowed in, like legally then? I mean, at that point, just fucking like processed legally, permanently. And then you're like, well, no, because that would, that would make it like a legal process to have 5,000 a fucking day in the country. He's like, well, wouldn't that be better than unlimited like we have right now? It's like, okay, so you're just holding us at like gunpoint then? So if we don't sign into law that we're gonna let 5,000 in, you'll just not enforce any of the laws and let them all in.
Port of entry, and you say, hey, I'm here to claim asylum. And
Like, there's already laws that make it
have
illegal for them to come in. You can already deport them.
Closed border that has a stricter process for whoever's
There's
coming
no
through,
fixing it.
Which one of those processes, which was extremely effective, was our Remain in Mexico
already
Act.
illegal.
It wasn't
The
that
Biden,
effective.
Yes, it was. The Biden administration revoked that act, as well as 94 executive orders that Trump installed during its administration. There was a reason that our border had a 50-year all-time low. And I want to ask you a question.
well,
No,
first
let
of
me
all,
ask
this
you a
is coming
question,
off of-
please.
this is coming
Do
off of
you
Obama's
do you
border security, number
condemn
one, and
do
number
you
two-
condemn 14-year-olds being
two.
Yes or no?
Number two.
Yes or no?
Number two.
W
condemn-
Chud. Dude, that is literally how you should argue with Destiny. You should just say shit like that. Like, that's the best way. That's literally the best way for these dumbass, retarded MAGA chuds to do this. Just start saying shit like that. You condemn the murder that illegal aliens are doing and then just start bringing up random cases. Do you think it was fucked up when they raped a 12-year-old, Destiny?
Year-olds being
Obviously,
yes or
I would
no?
condemn.
Do you think that should be allowed?
I'm not going to play this game.
You condemn,
Especially not with a-
you
especially not with a
condemn
MAGA
Lincoln
supporter,
Riley's
okay?
murderer
Number
who came in
two.
and murdered her,
Number two.
who was coming through an illegal Gotaway process. Do you
I don't
condemn
care how they got here.
Chud.
Always
Do you
condemn a
condemn the
murderer.
321,000 missing children right now that we cannot find at the border?
I don't even think that number is real.
Yes, it is. It's 321,000
I've heard all the fake numbers
missing
before. I'm
illegal
aware.
children.
Do you understand?
So I'm
Okay,
giving
wait.
you,
How is
I'm
it
giving you facts right now that are presented.
Stop hitting the
through
table, you
ICE,
fucking
presented through
idiot.
FEMA, that
How
are
do you have a
presented through Homeland
no
Security,
comprehension of the
which-
issue? It's just numbers. You're just regurgitating
The
them.
comprehension of
I'm
the
asking you a
issue
very
is our
simple question. Let's say that you secure the border. How does
All
it
you
help
do
the
is
asylum
you do this
process?
to get people amped up. People are dying.
Don't
Kids
care
are
about
being
the asylum
trapped.
process.
Drugs are coming
Deny
through.
them.
Fentanyl is at an all-time high.
90% of the fentanyl in this country comes in through legal people. It's not
No,
always
it does
trafficked.
not.
I'm racist.
During the Biden administration, fentanyl, an average yearly pound of fentanyl is 15,000. It's exceeding 15,000. During the Trump
This
administration, it
audio
was
is
less than
stressing my
25.
autistic
more
ass
numbers that
out.
have nothing
Sorry,
to do with
Destiny
the
can't stop hitting the
Yes, all
table.
these random
Distract
numbers.
from that.
No, you
These are
don't
facts.
understand the issue. Yes,
can't
I know
own
they're
up to
facts.
facts. People
Yeah,
are
it's not
dying
about
here.
a fact.
And
That's
all you're
great.
concerned about is trying to be right.
I'm
People
concerned
are
about Trump.
dying.
The difference is
Do
I
you
want to
care
fix
about
the
people
problem.
dying?
You don't.
Yes or no?
You don't. If you
Really,
don't,
I don't?
You don't care.
Really?
You don't give
How
a
would I not care?
because you're supporting the president that blocked the bill that would have fixed the problems. You don't
I'm
give a fuck
supporting
about
the
it.
president
You
that
don't
kept
care.
our
When you
borders
see,
secure.
The Rileys or the Lincoln Rileys and all these people getting killed, you're thinking, yes, it's a
Lincoln Riley wouldn't have been killed if we only let 5,000 of them in a day instead of unlimited by just not enforcing the fucking law, the already existing border laws.
election issue, which is
So
what Donald Trump.
Bro really
saying-
just flipped it
so
like
you're
that. Bro
saying
really
I-
just said that. Bro just went, actually, Lincoln Riley died because of fucking Trump, you piece of shit.
So you're
Wait, Brittany Vendy's there?
I was excited like how you were
Murdered by the
excited that
press.
Corey was
No way.
shot.
You're excited. You are excited when a person dies.
Where
to
did you
illegal
see Brittany
immigrant.
Venti?
But supporting the
Yes or
president.
no? Trying to
Stand the.
Wait, where was Brittany
I don't.
Venti?
You don't care.
Really?
You don't give
How would I not care?
because you're supporting the president that blocked the bill that would have fixed the
That's not Brittany Venti.
problems. You don't.
Dude, that's not even close. He's got like, that's like a trans, that's probably fucking male to female, okay? No tits. Yeah, that's literally a male to female, no tits, okay?
Fuck about it.
President
You
that
don't
kept
care.
That's
our
literally a fucking guy, dude.
They're
See,
secure.
the Rileys or the Lincoln Rileys and all these people getting killed, you're thinking, yes, it's an election issue, which is what Donald Trump thought when he blocked the bill.
So you're saying
when you see a
so
kid
you're
getting-
saying that I was excited like how you were
murdered by the
excited that
press.
Corey
You're
was
excited.
shot?
You're excited. You are excited when a person dies to an illegal immigrant, but when something goes to get done about it, you champion Trump when he blocks the bill.
The bill
Dude, he's getting stressed out too. Look at him. This guy is,
That's
was a
it.
bad bill,
That's
period.
it. Really, what legislation did Donald Trump pass in his 4 years as president?
He had closed borders. He had the Remain
Nothing,
in
we
Mexico Act.
suck.
There was
Remain in, that
title-
doesn't sound like a
let
bill.
me- let
Remain
me
in
finish
Mexico, by the
talking.
way, was
Title-
responsible for keeping like 10,000 immigrants away
Title
a year, which
42
is basically nothing.
Title 42
is
allowed-
COVID. He gets no credit for that. Next.
Title 42 allowed.
well, you don't even have to pass anything though. I mean, you do, but also like, if you just tell them to start enforcing the fucking border laws, then they enforce the border laws. They already exist.
Law enforcement.
Title
I mean, it's just
42
like
is gone. There's no
funding that you have
COVID.
to get.
It wasn't COVID specific.
What do you think Title 42 was?
Title 42
Ugh.
allowed law enforcement to process illegals that were coming through. Now, if they've revoked that, if a sheriff or police officer, say there's a murderer that comes through
Brittany
illegally,
Venti's
if a police
posting
officer
nudes.
tries to process that guy and get him,
If Trump wins,
the police officer is going to be charged with kidnapping,
Holy.
not the murderer. The murderer is just going to get away with this stuff. You can't own up to the facts that are actually happening of the criminals that are coming through. If someone is truly coming into this country, fleeing, say it's Venezuela, fleeing a South American country or any country that their life is truly at stake, everybody here has a heart for them.
No, you don't.
Yes, we
You're
do. And how
championing
dare you
things
can
like
say that?
remain in
My
Mexico.
family
Hold
were
on, hold on,
immigrants.
Hold on.
So how
If
can you say
somebody-
that?
In your world, in your ideal world, if somebody was escaping one of those countries and coming to the border, you're saying keep them in Mexico until we process them. Where's
Because,
the compassion there?
Mexico is 10 times safer than the country that they're
You
coming.
think that the border towns
We
that
need
are
to
being
protect-
overwhelmed by
we
people
need to
coming to seek
protect
asylum, you think that
our
that's
own country.
Oh, there it is.
Okay,
the protect our
pause.
country. Yeah,
Pause.
so there's no heart for the
Pause.
people coming
You've
in.
been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Jeez.
I'm glad we agree that there's a problem with the asylum system. And I actually.
Well, we don't agree. I think that, but.
Well, I'm agreeing with you that there's a problem with the asylum system.
Okay.
I actually think you care. I've been following you for a while. I actually think you deeply care about this issue and how it's affecting the American
this
people.
guy is
I
a
do believe that
fucking
sincerely.
chud too.
what is for the tens of millions of folks who are going to watch
Tech
this
News
video,
Desk, I saw it.
just
Brittany
what does
Mendy said if Trump
asylum as a
wins, she'll
process
post
represent
naked.
to you? What does it mean to qualify legitimately for asylum?
Logic.
To legitimately qualify for asylum,
Logic versus Destiny.
there's like official
Oh,
characteristics for
shit.
it, but basically the place that you're fleeing, you're being persecuted for some characteristic or trait that we think that you obviously shouldn't be persecuted for, and you're facing like severe threats to your existence. And
The
so
running
you
up
have
to
flee
the chair
country,
shit is
and
so
then-
demoralizing. Dude, I know. It's so funny though, like making these retards race to a chair. Bruh, it's so good. It's so
you're
good.
basically coming to the United
You
States
literally
saying,
make them do like a humiliation ritual up to start arguing.
like I'm basically stateless. I can't go back to my home. Like me or my family's at risk, and can you basically take me in and me become a citizen that way, basically.
That's exactly right. You're fleeing racial, religious, ethnic persecution. Absolutely. Poverty wouldn't count as asylum. It's a fact. Poverty doesn't count. You have to be fleeing a particular type of persecution. If poverty is a coincident factor there, but the persecution is key.
Sure, I'm gonna hesitantly agree with you, but like let's say you're facing poverty.
It's
like
literally
Syria, where
only
it's like a
liberals who do the
collapsed
running?
state.
Yeah,
There's,
that
like, I
is
can see a big
true.
difference. But in general, yeah,
That
if
is
you're just
true.
poor, you probably shouldn't be able
They've
to come
done
and
it a
seek
couple
asylum.
times in this though.
And so that's why 90% of asylum claims are rejected. Let's talk about remain in Mexico. You brought
It's like
up
literally you just
that
have to get them
I think it was a
triggered and
failure,
then
it
they'll
seems.
straight up
Yes.
run
Why
for
is
the
that?
chair.
One, I think there were a lot of lawsuits in the United States that were starting to look promising. I think in terms of overturning it, I think the ACLU had gotten a victory in the 11th Circuit or the 9th Circuit, and then also because just a number of people that were being kept out from remain in Mexico. I want to say the total number over, I think it was like 3 years, was like 30 or 40,000. It wasn't that many altogether.
But isn't that actually a sign of its success because it was a successful deterrent? Think about it this way, Stephen. If you got people who are fleeing religious persecution and you got folks who are fleeing poverty, the people who are actually fleeing persecution, they will happily go to Mexico and wait for 6 months for their case to be heard.
I don't know if that's always the case.
Well, but
if you're fleeing and you literally
Yeah, Mexico is pretty, it's a shithole, really. That's true. Mexico's pretty bad.
have nothing, you're like a destitute family. Now
It's
you're
dangerous. There's a lot of criminals. There's a lot of criminals and dirty people there. I don't know if that's true.
sitting on like a border town, like waiting months and months, maybe for your.
But that's better than religious persecution in Syria, right? I mean,
It might be, but ideally in the United States, we could process you almost immediately, and if you have a legitimate claim, we can house you
There's
here.
a lot of
Absolutely,
dangerous
but how
people
do
in
we keep the
Mexico. I
fraud
don't know
out
if
of
that's
the system? I thought
true.
remain in Mexico, wherever you are politically, was a good way to do that. The idea was that if you're actually fleeing persecution in Syria or in East Asia or in Africa, you would be 99% better off in that camp in Mexico where it is protected, where you have food, where you have humanitarian resources. That keeps
Stop
the fraud
tapping the
claims out.
table. I
And so
know.
this
I don't know why
bipartisan
he keeps
border
doing
bill,
that, bro.
well, first and foremost, 9 Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren, actually voted against it. So Donald Trump didn't kill it. Donald Trump was opposed to it for the same reasons that many Republicans and some
Hold on, to
Democrats
be clear, would that
were
bill have
opposed to it.
passed? Would that bill have passed without Donald Trump telling Republicans not to vote for it?
No, it would not have.
Okay, that's completely and totally incorrect. But
What's your
people
proof
can
of
look
that?
up.
Well, listen, let's just talk about the substance of it.
Well, the proof is that like it would have passed. People like McConnell, people like Cruz are literally saying like we're not voting on this bill because Donald Trump has told us to pull the plug on it. But the idea was that it was going to pass.
So what would that bill have done to deter the fraudulent asylum claims that are keeping out legitimate folks who are fleeing persecution?
Well, I think that right now the biggest there's an amalgamation of laws that make it so that because the asylum system is so backed up, I know that if I go to the United States, even if my claim is total bullshit, I can run to a port, claim that I'm an asylum seeker, and I know that they can't process me right now, so I get a slip saying, okay, we'll come back to court in a year or two, and it's like I'm in, and you're done. At that point, you just disappear, right? But if they could process you almost immediately, you show up and you're like, hey, I'm a asylum seeker. It's like, oh, cool, we'll come talk to the judge. You're like, okay, well, fuck me. Then the motivation to come in and try to get in fraudulently that way, I think, dramatically decreases. And one of the big things that the bill helped with was providing a lot more judges that would be allocated for these things and a lot more funding for it, et cetera.
So just to correct that point,
Yeah.
there weren't actually judges. They were funding custom officers who don't have law degrees, who are biased one way, who are more likely to approve asylum claims that might end up proving fraudulent. I think.
Wait, hold on. Who processes the asylum claims? Eventually, you have to sit in front of a judge.
No,
my
no,
understanding.
no. And just clearly here, customs officers
Dude.
under the bipartisan border bill would be then given authority to process these claims. They don't have law degrees. They aren't judges. Judges typically kick these
Also,
cases.
like,
but in
I mean, even if they pass the fucking bill, like, do you think they're gonna start funding like deportations? Like, you think they're gonna actually start protecting the border? Like, of fucking course not. It's literally just like, okay, well now we're legalizing 5,000 a day. Like that's the fucking only difference.
In this particular bill by Langford, it would actually be customs officers taking
Customs
over
officers
this.
would make the final decision on whether or not a person gets into the
And that's how
country.
you build up capacity, because you couldn't hire more immigration judges. There aren't enough people in the country to take those
I think you can. I think the issue is that the judge number has been capped since I think the 80s or the
Is
60s.
Destin
in
a
terms of
new
how many
wife
judges
yet?
are allowed to
No.
hear these claims.
No.
So we haven't had more funding that was allocated
Why
towards
not
actually.
bring back women in Mexico? It absolutely works, Stephen.
Because
Let's
I
just-
don't think it necessarily works, number one, because not that many people were kept out. And number two, even as a matter of policy, I don't know if the idea to the country to the south of you is like, hey, listen, if many people coming to asylum, we're going to go ahead and store them in your country while we wait and process it.
Yeah.
I don't know how even Mexico would feel about that. I don't know if the conditions would necessarily be safe for those people either. Because I thought that one of the claims that I heard so much from the Trumples was how unsafe all of these like border towns had become because of so many people
Mr.
building up there. So why
Borelli,
would you want
he's
to
just sucking cum.
there and
Yeah,
keep
true.
them there? Would you agree that if somebody was coming here to legitimately seek asylum and it was a legitimate case, they would probably
No.
be good to take them in and house them immediately?
No.
In an ideal world, absolutely, but we
Are
need
they
to also
white?
separate those who are abusing the system. Again, 90% of those claims are fraudulent. But
So
let's.
then, shouldn't we increase the funding to process those claims as quickly as possible?
I think the deterrent is better in Mexico, but Stephen, let's agree to disagree, okay?
Are they white or sexy Asians?
Great.
Are they sexy women or white people?
Jeez. All right.
Okay, actually, he's been snubbed now twice, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna let him have it.
Hi. What's up? What's up?
I'll get you next time. Okay.
So, my issue with the bipartisan border bill is that it only gets activated on a mandatory basis if
This
there are
guy's too fat to get to the chair in time.
5,000
Damn.
people per day crossing
So
the
it's
border.
rigged.
I agree with you that the asylum process is the problem.
Bro's
but
literally
that bill
too
also
fat and slow to
expands
get there.
protections for asylees or people seeking asylum. The bipartisan border bill, which is a problem.
This guy might
I think
be
that HR2
wise.
is much more effective at preventing
They wanted him in because he has a large following. Is that what it is,
like,
really?
people abusing the legal
HR2 might have been more effective from a conservative standpoint, but that bill was DOA, and everybody knew it.
because Democrats didn't want to vote for it.
Because no, I don't even know if it would have had Republicans.
Do you think that it would be a win for Democrats if they passed HR2? Like, politically speaking?
Probably not. That bill went much further.
You don't think that it would be good for Joe Biden's image?
No. I think that
really?
I would have to
Why?
go back and read it because I think that bill was way more extreme in terms of like processing people. I don't think it was a very
Yeah,
popular.
it
They, like,
eliminated parole,
enforce
which I
the
think is a good thing. There's a
fucking
couple other
law.
things. Like I haven't read
But
it.
the bill was DOA. There was no
But
popular.
either-
There was no
either-
chance in hell that was
well,
passing
okay,
anything.
the bipartisan border bill
It was
terrible
DOA.
too.
No, the bipartisan border bill was
terrible.
that would have
That
passed
bill was
less
DOA.
Donald Trump.
Right, but it didn't address the current issue. There's about 1,000.
It did address it. It might not, you
didn't.
could say it might not have addressed it adequately, but it would have been a big step in that direction.
There are about yeah, right, but the issue would have to get about twice as bad as it currently is. There's about 1,900 people who cross per day currently. Under the bipartisan border bill, on a mandatory basis, the emergency powers could only be activated if 5,000.
Bro, after getting to failing to the gym the seventh
daily over
time.
a 7-day period, right?
Yeah, but then after that happens, you can shut the border down for 2 weeks and process zero.
But you can only the bill, the emergency powers given in the bill can only be used for 270 days of the first calendar year, 225 of the second, and 180 of the third. And in addition to that, if it drops below 70% of that mandatory number, 5,000, which is about 3,750, which is almost exactly double what it currently is, it gets
What?
automatically rescinded. The powers go
Whoa.
away.
I don't believe the powers.
Yes,
I
they
believe
do.
They have the ability.
Stephen,
Hold on,
read
how
the
can
bill.
anybody
That's
come in if
insane,
they're
me,
not-
like-
they're processing zero claims?
Dude, it's
Wait, what do you mean?
crazy.
If they're processing zero claims, once they
No,
hit
it's not
that
on the basis of
threshold-
it's on the basis of crossers. So 5,000.
but it shuts down asylum claims as well. That was the nice thing about it. We don't have an
Sure.
issue right now with illegal immigrants coming into this country. We have a problem
we do.
right now.
Absolutely
I know,
we do.
yeah, stay fucking
1,900
mad because you guys
crossers.
can't fucking read. That's fine. The problem that we have right now is with asylum seekers.
Ooh,
I agree with
stay
you. I agree
mad.
with you.
And
And this
the
bill
moratorium was
expanded protections for asylum seekers.
Yeah, but it also gave the
So
ability for the border to
your
shut down
argument
asylum.
is dead on
people.
arrival.
No,
Yeah,
2
yeah,
weeks
yes, it
shutdown.
is.
What is our moratorium right now on people claiming asylum?
I don't know what the
Zero. It's nothing.
Right.
So this would be better definitionally.
Okay. You said earlier that like you were talking about I forget who it was with like
Chud
the 5,000
Ickler.
cap on a mandatory basis.
Red
or whatever.
flag,
It's not
red
a cap.
flag, get
That's not a
outta
cap
here.
On, like, the
No,
amount
it's
of-
like a 7-day rolling average.
Well, yeah. Let me finish.
Yeah.
It's not a cap on how many people can come into the border. Obviously, 0 people are allowed to illegally cross the border, right?
But wait,
wait, I'm
people
not
coming
finished.
for asylum are not illegal, right? Do you acknowledge that? People coming to claim asylum.
Yes. I agree with you. Let me land my plane. Okay. So that's not a cap on how many people can cross the border. Obviously,
Who the fuck gave an unlimited like asylum seeker cap? How the like what? How the hell did that get legalized? Was that Obama? Unlimited asylum
it's illegal
seekers?
for anybody to cross the border. It's a cap on power.
Okay, pause. Sorry, time's up.
Okay.
Please return to your
Brandon,
seat.
Jews.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks
Jews
so
did
much
this?
to
Dude,
Straight
shut
Arrow
the
News.
fuck up. Sorry.
5.5.
What do you think the biggest contributor to the Biden-Harris inflation has been?
Hold on.
Well, you could say the supply chain, but I would say the bills that they passed, the inflation.
We got like a
Reduction Act,
chill
which
Mexican.
had nothing to do with inflation. The only reason inflation's kind of at 2.5 now is because they raised interest rates. It has nothing to do with what they've done.
Okay, so
Nothing to do with their
what
policy.
was the huge event that probably triggered a ton of inflation because of all the knock-on effects from it? There was a really big event that happened in the past 5
You're
years.
referring to COVID?
Yeah. Okay. So COVID happened. So if we look at Donald Trump's administration and we look at what he did, he ran massive budget deficits. He did nothing to cut spending. He did giant tax cuts, right? And he pressured the Fed to keep interest rates
Well,
low.
Harris adds like $1 trillion per year to the.
Yeah, but at least they can argue for why they would have deficits, right? Because they're trying to save us from a massive recession, which more or less they did.
We already hit recession a couple times.
No, not really, no.
Yeah, by the letter of the law we have.
Okay, if you want to say that we have, then it was a soft landing at worst. Okay, but it's nowhere near as bad
This
as it
is
could have been, but
so
at least they had- they
boring.
were-
Donald Trump's economic plans would increase inflation and devastate the economy. This is just gonna be about tariffs, and all these people are too stupid to argue about that. Oh wait, maybe this guy will know. Let's see. Is this guy low-key Hamiltonian? Yo, is this guy low-key like a Wendell Bookcat fan?
Jesus.
Dude, what the? What the fuck?
Now, Stephen, that was very inflationary.
Jesus.
That was crazy. Yes, this guy is
Now,
low-key.
Stephen, that was very inflationary. Okay, that was very high.
Well, hold on. To be clear, I'm not a huge fan
This is
of
low-key?
just like stimulus stuff because I think it has a lot of inflationary pressures. I think forgiving student loan debt, I think would also be massively inflationary in a lot of bad ways. But none of those even come close to the total economic destruction that would be wrought on this country with across the board universal tariffs to every country in the world.
Were you concerned by the tariffs in the first term?
Yes.
Okay. Why didn't we see the inflation in the first term under Trump under these tariffs that you're so concerned about?
Because I think that raising prices and everything can kind of be masked through the allocation of money
Cook
to other
his
assets,
ass.
especially when
Cook
the
his
economy is
ass.
growing. So the world
All right, we got
economy is
13
growing, right?
minutes
Because a lot of
left.
good
Come on,
buy
get
things,
on
a lot
with
of money
this.
Can transfer to a lot of different places.
Get on with this,
inflation has
bruh.
to do with dollars chasing supplies of goods, basically. And if the supplies continue to grow at a really high rate, you can probably afford more deficit spending. But the issue is that I don't think that Donald Trump was intelligently saying like, well, I can probably afford a deficit spend here because of the economy. I think he just likes to spend because everybody does. And I don't think that Trump would have the ability to rein it in, as he said multiple times in his Bloomberg interview yesterday. But also, like, the big event that was contributing to inflation over the Biden administration was probably COVID and a lot of the knock-on stuff from COVID.
American Rescue Plan, for example, the unemployment rate had already been cut in half. 100 million people had immunity to the virus, and yet we put $2 trillion of heroin into the economy.
The United States is also outperforming every single other G7 OECD country when it comes to metrics like inflation and how our economy is doing as well.
we've got
so I think we probably made the right choice there, right?
Well, Stephen,
wait, would you say that we made the right choice where? With like the American...
I disagree. I disagree.
Okay. So which country should we have acted like?
Well, I'm going to hold ourselves to the American standard, which is to always do the best thing and not to compare ourselves to others.
Okay,
Listen,
so we are outperforming everybody else, but you think we should be doing even better. Okay.
Stephen, if I'm the best alcoholic in the room, I'm in the wrong room. I don't want to be the best of the worst. I want to be the best compared to my own standard.
Okay, but to be clear, we're talking about a world where every single person...
Stephen,
The black guy likes that. The black guy's fucking with the shit all these white people saying.
Any other country in the world.
Stephen,
all these super white people saying.
Million Americans.
Relational to other countries, and the fact that we did
I haven't
better than
interrupted
every
you.
single
Is
other
Jimbo
country.
G7? Hell yeah, of course.
8.5 million
Of course
people
we're
are working
G7,
multiple
bro.
jobs to keep up with
We fuck
inflation.
with Fousey
We've got
heavy.
7 million prime working age men who are not in the labor force. 37% of
fuck with all
Americans
those
say
crash
that their
outs.
children's life will not be better than theirs. This economy is hurting a lot of people right now. Do you accept that?
No. What's Donald Trump going to do to improve that economy?
Well, let's talk about that for a moment. Let's just talk about that for a moment with all sincerity.
Sure.
What problem does tariffs try to address, Stephen?
But he's Hamiltonian.
In Donald Trump's world, or what?
He's
that's a very general question.
Hamiltonian.
Objective speaking, when you look at tariffs, what does it try to solve for?
Tariffs can be levied for a variety of different reasons. The two most common reasons that are given is that one, it can be foolishly employed to try to protect an industry. So you would tariff other people.
This
to
is
make your
funny because he can't use his phone or his Discord. You know what I mean?
own industries more competitive. These require across-the-board tariffs.
He needs
so
to stop
not
hitting
specific
the
ones.
dash.
And then a second reason could be for issues related.
Wait, what's he saying?
One, it can be foolishly employed to try to protect an industry. So you would tariff other people to make your own industries more competitive. These require across-the-board tariffs, so not specific ones. And then a second reason could be for issues related
What?
to, say, like
Why
national
is that
security.
foolish?
So, for instance, I want to tariff these people's abilities to manufacture microchips or steel, not because I think we'll be economically better off, but because if we get into war with them, I don't want to be relying on them.
Why would
for
that be
process.
foolish?
I think the latter case makes a lot of sense, by the way. If you
I
get to
agree.
war with China, now listen.
Although I would be honest about the latter one and say we don't do it for economic reasons, we do it do it for security reasons.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. And I agree with you on that. Does China have tariffs on us? Yes. Does
Why is
Europe
that
have tariffs on us?
foolish?
Yes. It's not free
Wikipedia,
trade when
Steve.
they're rigging it against us and charging us to send
Yes,
our products
Discord,
over there.
TDS.
So the question is, Stephen, if they're putting tariffs on us, hurting our workers, hollowing out places from Middletown, Ohio to parts of Appalachia, why can't we put in place a deterrent that says, look,
It would be foolish. It'd be foolish to try to prevent your entire economy from being service-based, fake joke jobs where you're like emailing people for HR meetings 5 times a day. That would be foolish to employ it to defend that, okay? You're blocking them from reaching the richest market that everyone wants to sell to in the whole fucking world. They'll pay for it. Like,
if you're going to rig the system against American workers, we are going to level the playing field. We got a real problem in this country, by the way.
If this was
half
hold on,
of
real
work,
quick,
but Stephen, hold on, I want to just Stephen.
You asked me a question. You asked me a question. Whatever economic plan or whatever you're talking about using tariffs. Sure, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Whatever you're saying, that was nothing to do with the Trump administration. What you're saying is you're talking about getting into a tariff war to try to bring tariffs down or to force somebody to engage in negotiations to bring tariff down in order to re-enter trade agreements, kind of like when Donald Trump renegotiated NAFTA into the U.S. Mexico-Canada trade agreement, right?
And
but
you know what he
however,
used? Hold on,
but
Stephen.
you can't just say
Stephen,
Donald Trump doesn't
used
say
the threat of tariffs
that's great,
to bring them
but
to the
Donald Trump
negotiating
is not
table.
talking about using tariffs to get more people to negotiate. He wants to create an autarky. That's his goal. Do you acknowledge that Donald Trump wants us to manufacture everything at home? That's all of his rhetoric. Do you acknowledge? He doesn't say it. Okay.
No, Stephen, just 1 second.
Yeah.
why would that be bad? Why would, okay, first of all, I wish that was what he even fucking meant. I mean, like, you know, he's just saying shit, obviously. But why would that even be bad? Like, in what way is that bad?
He wants us to employ the working men and women of this country to give them a fair shot.
Our unemployment
we're
is
losing
already less
100,000
than 5%.
people to opioids every year. We're losing 900 people.
We're already below. We're already below what the employment should be. We're already below 5%.
What would his argument even be for why that's
7 million
bad?
working age men are not in the labor force.
That's a great number. I don't know what that number. Hold on. Do you acknowledge that?
Hold on.
Do you
Stephen, Stephen, just 1 sec. Half of working age men who are not in the labor force are taking opioid painkillers every day. The broken industrial policies of this country.
And you think having
from
them
George
manufacture
Bush
shoes that
to
aren't
Bill
being made in
Clinton,
China is going to magically get rid of that problem?
No, Stephen.
This has
no.
anything to do
Does
with
New Balance make in America? Yes or no?
None of this
Does
has to
New
do with
Balance make in
anything.
America?
I don't know. For the finally assembly,
Yes, they
maybe?
do.
Okay.
Yes, they do. But here's the thing,
What
Stephen.
was the point of that?
Stephen. Stephen.
Do you think that we can manufacture every single good we consume
No, I
at
don't
home?
think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
What is the goal of 1,000 or 500 or whatever? 100%.
Where are Teslas made? Where are Teslas made? Where's the best-selling car in America made? In the world, rather. Where's it made?
I don't. When you say
right
where's
here
it
in
made-
America.
Hold on.
Right
What do you
here in
mean by that?
America.
Every single part?
No, the final assembly, a large.
Do you
a
understand that
large
yesterday
portion.
when Donald Trump was doing his interview with
What are you
Bloomberg, he
saying?
made fun of that. Donald Trump shit on companies like Tesla when he said
The
we do
opioid
final
issue is a
assembly here,
result
we
of
can have
unemployment.
children do
True.
that. It's just throwing together
Actually, so true. Dude, you see that in New York more than anywhere I've ever been in my entire fucking life. When you're in New York, when you go to these little teeny tiny towns all over the place, where, I mean, really, a lot of them were hollowed out because the advent of commercial farming sort of ruined a lot of places that didn't have any other industry. But even other places that do have industry, and they just got like destroyed. They just got, blown out. It's just like these little towns with like really not well taken care of houses everywhere. And the only thing in town is a gas station and a liquor store. And that's literally it. And you drive through them and it's like, it's so pretty, like where they are. And the houses are pretty because they were like, built a long time ago. But now they're just like not taken care of and no one lives there. And the people that do live there are all drug addicts.
Legos. Donald Trump doesn't like final assembly. Donald Trump wants not just the Tesla
True.
final assembly here, but all the batteries, all of the steel, every single component of that made in America. Again, your plan sounds great. That sounds like an ordinary, decent economic plan. Donald Trump's plan is autarky. It's ridiculous.
I'm glad you like my plan. Thanks.
Okay, if you run for president, I'll support it.
I appreciate it.
That was retarded. Why does he say that like it's a bad thing? Why would manufacturing most things in America be bad? Like, why would you not want that? It doesn't even make sense. But did you hear that Destiny is smarter than Elon Musk? Yeah, I did see that, yeah. America cannot build FA-18 airframes without Russian steel imports. Our country's economy is a joke. It'd be impossible. How could we do anything?
Yep.
Without...
All right, so
what is going
if
on?
Trump is going to be bad for inflation, why
Dude,
is it that
it's the
when
guy
he
that
left, all right,
body
so-
slammed the other dude.
Steven?
Hey. Yep.
All right, so if Trump is going to be bad for inflation, why is it that when he left office in 2021, inflation was at like almost an all-time low, practically non-existent at 1.4%. As soon as he left, that's when inflation started rising with the Biden-Harris administration. If he's going to be bad at inflation,
Okay, but chat, if we're gonna be saying autarky, we need to be able to spell it correctly. Come on, we can't be spelling. You're gonna argue with them? You can't be spelling it A-U-T-A-R-K-Y.
why was the economy so good his whole 4 years? If you look at all the polls from any news site, even CNN, which is more left-leaning, you'll see that.
Wait, that's how you actually spell it? Yo, my stupid ass. That really is? I've never seen it actually written out. I've only seen like autocrat or autocratic from like map games. Wait a second.
Autarky. Autarky.
My stupid ass. Oh wait, those are different things? Wait, what?
All people in general
A
say
regime is autarkic if it tries to be self-sufficient by cutting off trade and intercourse with the rest of the world. Oh. Oh. Wait, it's a variant spelling. Another term for autocracy. Wait, so you can spell it either way? Oh, this way you spelled it is like when you're using it pejoratively.
that they trust Trump more with the economy.
Maybe?
Trump do that made
You can spell it both ways.
so good in those 4 years?
The question should be, what did he not do? He didn't do anything.
Exactly, I agree. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do
when the
anything bad. He
he
stayed
didn't,
good
he
the
didn't have
entire
to do
4
anything
times.
because the economy had been growing ever since Obama brought us out of the end of the 2007 collapse. Again, another Democrat president comes in, whether it's 2008 with Obama inheriting the housing crisis, or whether it's 2020 with Biden coming in and having to deal with COVID. Yeah, he had to come in and spend like
You
crazy.
can't
to
blame
save us.
everything on COVID, okay?
You
we're
can
doing
blame a
better
lot
than-
on COVID. It was a really big
Greek-
deal, and we are doing better than all the other
Trump-
countries right now. I agree. Under Biden, that's true.
Oh.
Yes.
The way
and
you
when
spelled
Trump
it
left
is
office, He
Greek.
was also in the middle of COVID too, and inflation was still at
Not English.
1.4%. Why has it tripled? Why is it
Donald Trump
tripled
spent like the
under
first year of or the first like month of COVID pretending it didn't exist. I don't know if he was like the leader to point to about that.
Okay, well,
I
Dude,
just don't
what
know,
are
like,
they arguing
what's
about?
one
Every day is a
policy
good
the
day to learn
Democrats given
something?
If he comes back into office, it's going to help inflation. Just one.
Chat one? No. The correct English spelling is how I was thinking you spell it. But the way you spelled it is actually acceptable. It's just like Greek for some reason or something. I don't even know.
He's doing tariffs, and he's
That makes things more
and
expensive.
He's also going to be mining.
What were they arguing about? I was just Googling how you spell autarky.
Is going to be bad for inflation. Why is it that when he left office in 2021, inflation was at like almost an all-time low, practically non-existent at 1.4%. As soon as he left, that's when inflation started rising with the Biden-Harris administration. If he's going to be bad at inflation, why was the economy so good his whole 4 years? If you look at all the polls from any news site, even CNN, which is more left-leaning, you'll see that all people in general say that they trust Trump more with the
What
economy.
did Donald Trump do that made the economy so good in those 4
Okay, and now I see. Autarky, spelled in the normal English, means self-government, usually nowadays without pejorative overtones. Autarky is invariably used pejoratively to mean self-government in a manner condemned by the speaker. A regime is autarkic if it tries to be self-sufficient by cutting off trade and intercourse with the rest of the world. Blah blah blah. So you're being like a global pariah. So we use that to like try to force places. Dude, this is just like a Jewish trick. Wait. They're saying that like it's a bad thing again. Like the whole idea here is just literally to be like if you're not openly buying all of our goods everywhere in the world, then you're a global pariah and a fucking fascist. That's crazy. That's literally what it's saying. It's saying it's bad if you're trying to be self-sufficient by cutting off trade and intercourse with the rest of the world. You're not for unlimited globalism. I do intercourse with Mexico, but that's it. Yep.
4 years.
The question should be, what did he not do? He didn't do anything.
Exactly. I agree. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything bad.
Yeah,
he stayed good the entire 4 times.
Because the economy had been growing ever since Obama had brought us out of the end of the 2000s.
Dude, why are Slavic people so
Again,
stupid?
another
No
Democrat
offense.
president comes in, whether it's
No
2008
offense.
with Obama inheriting the housing crisis, or whether it's 2020
Wait,
with
they don't
Biden
love
coming
you
in and
like
having to deal
I
with
love
COVID.
you.
Yeah, he had to come in and spend like
You
crazy.
can't blame
to save us.
everything on COVID, okay?
You
we're
can
doing
blame a
better
lot
than-
on COVID. It was a really big deal, and we are doing better than all the other countries right now. I
Self-sufficiency
agree.
is
Under
bad,
Biden,
Goy.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, and when Trump left office, he was also in the middle of COVID too, and inflation was still at 1.4%. Why has it tripled? Why is it?
Okay, I gotta go. Okay, I gotta go because I gotta go buy candy before everyone shows up because I ate all the candy I bought. Okay, I gotta go. It's 6 o'clock. I gotta wrap this up. Is Paul Town still alive? I have to buy candy.